Welcome to the third video in your Words Their Way professional development. In the previous video, we talked about the emergence stage, the letter name alphabetic stage, and then within words pattern stage. In this video, we'll discuss the syllables and affixes stage, as well as the derivational relations stage, and wrap up chapter 1 from your professional development book. Okay, so the syllables and affixes stage. This is typically a middle to upper elementary grades. The new point in word, they're at a new point in word study where students consider spelling patterns where the syllables meet and meaning units such as affixes. Typically, it's 8 to 12-year-olds. In the end of stage, spelling and affixes that at the end of the stage, they study spelling and affixes that affect meanings, such as dis in the word disloyal. So here we see an example of a student in the syllables and affixes stage of spelling development. Early derivation, not derivational. Let me go over here. In this figure, you see a fourth grader in the early part of the syllables and affixes stage. He has written about his summer vacation. Xavier spelled most one-syllable short and long vowel words correctly, such as went, west, drove, and last. Many of his errors are in two-syllable words and fall at the places where syllables and affixes meet. Xavier does not know the convention for preserving vowel sounds when adding affixes such as ed and ing. He spelled stopped as stoped and hiking as hikeing. The principle of doubling the consonant to keep the vowel short is used in little for little, but is lacking in his spelling of summer as sumer. Final syllables often give students difficulty because the vowel sounds is not clear and may be spelled different ways, as shown in Xavier's spelling of little, littel, for little, and mountains for mountain. Towards the end of syllables and affixes stage, students explore the spelling of affixes that affect the meanings of the words. Again, we mentioned this earlier, as in the word disloyal, and then in the word careful as well. Oops, let me go. Before I do this, let me remind you again of our Pearson PD toolkit. I'm going to ask that you either pause this video or at some point go back and watch the video that goes with the syllables and affixes stage. So within your PD toolkit, you'll go to videos, scroll down to where it says developmental or development of students in the syllables and affixes stage. Click on that and watch that video. Again, it gives you really good information about understanding this stage of spelling development. So back to derivational relations. This is the final stage of spelling development, typically fourth grade to middle school. They study how words may be derived from base words and word roots. Meanings of word parts remain constant, but across different derivationally related words. There's a huge vocabulary focus in derivational relations. Early derivational relation spellers like sixth grader Caitlin, that you see her writing here in this image here, they spell most words correctly. However, some of her errors reflect a lack of knowledge about derivation. For example, favorite, spelled faverite, and different, spelled diffrent, do not reflect the relationship to favor and differ. Her errors on final suffixes such as sion in division and ent in ingredients also are very typical of students in this stage. Okay, once again, please go to that Pearson PD toolkit, watch the development of students in the derivational relations stage. Watch that video, and again, it has great information for you. Okay, so those are the stages for the spelling stages that, again, that you'll be teaching within and that you'll be grouping your kids in. For more information on the stages, you can see in your PD book, see in tab page 19 and page 20, to learn about the characteristics of these stages. I would highly recommend you read through those. The more you understand the characteristics of each one of the stages, the more you can look at students' writing and use it to make instructional decisions with word study. That was some feedback that we got from the pilot, that there was some disconnect or not being able to see the correlation between reading, writing, and word study. The more you understand what happens in each stage, the more you're going to be able to pick up a student's writing and be like, oh, I can tell on their writing that they are in the within words pattern stage or the derivational relation stage. Also refer to chapters 4 through 8. Each chapter is devoted to each one of the spelling stages. You don't have to read all of them. Read the ones that relate to the stages that you'll be instructing on within your classroom. Okay, so to wrap things up, we're going to go over one more time the key tenets of within words their way and why we're doing word study. One of the main reasons, guys, is that it is not a one-size-fits-all program. Just like we have reading workshop and writing workshop that has tons of differentiation, Words Their Way has tons of differentiation. So we're really meeting the needs of the students where they're at in their spelling development. It focuses in on the instructional level of the students. Learning is based on brain research. Our brains naturally look for patterns. We naturally compare and contrast things. Just like within this program, we're going to be comparing and contrasting words and patterns. It's a key component of our balanced literacy block. So we have to find a way to fit it in. And as I said, we will discuss ways to make that happen in future videos. So I would like for you to tap some pages within this book. So grab your book, grab some post-it notes or whatever you want to use for tabs, and tab page 11. That's the stages of spelling development. Tab page 16, which is layers of orthography aligned with reading and writing stages. And tab page 19, the developmental stages, characteristics and word study instruction. These will be pages that you could potentially refer to as you learn and implement this program. All right, guys, that wraps up chapter 1 out of our professional development book. The next chapter will be in the next video, so that is chapter 2, where we will be talking about getting started with word study in your classroom. Thanks, guys.